Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Before I start the class, I'd like to give my thanks to all the support that I got the last 2 weeks. Thanks to all of you. Some of you may be wondering, what did I do? Doesn't make any difference. The collective support is really been of so grateful, useful. Now, if I have to mention names, I have to go on, mentioning names. I can't isolate anyone. So every support is a great one. Either people go this extreme or they go to this extreme. I don't care. Nothing will happen to me. This or that. Extremes is where people go to. Either you are too cautious or you are too casual. Both won't work. And the biggest problem I see in this with everyone is not the fear of death and all that. Is not many people don't think of that problem. The biggest one they get is that isolation. They start feeling uncomfortable about it, and your own people stay away from you. That social distancing, sort of taken as social stigma that kills. That disturbs a lot of them. As long as you are mentally strong, you don't fall for all these things. Once we have that strength to stay, because in all other diseases, when someone is sick, we will ask them, can I come and help you? In this, immediately we pack our bags and leave. Very peculiar disease this is. All other problems, when a person says, I have this problem, I met with an accident, I am fractured, I am lying in the house, immediately people will come to see you also. Which I don't recommend actually, but still, they come. But in this disease, the problem is, the moment a person hears this, they say, everyone will run away from you. Don't get perturbed. Don't fall for this. That's what is, disturbing a lot of people. The close people were staying away from you, and they will not come near you. They will stand at 10 feet away from you and talk, and you are inside the room, they are outside the room. They won't even allow you to open the door. All such things. This is the problem of people. That's about it. Otherwise, this is not going to be a killer one. It's the volume of affectation is what is causing the problem. What we see, the world is the volume. And philosophically, if you look at it, there is nothing here to be, because the law of nature is, if any one species were to start dominating nature, nature will start resisting it. Nature will never. That I've been telling people for a long time. Humanity should wake up and realize that the nature had started resisting us, started fighting back. Every element has started fighting back. Now the elements were doing, and now it is organism is doing. That's about it. It will resist, because we were exploiting the nature, to which every one of us are responsible. We cannot say, I have turned vegan, therefore I am not. It doesn't make any difference whether you have turned vegan or you are non-vegan. That's not going to make any difference, please. The presence of that number and the domination that we have over nature, because nature will never allow that. It will find a balance. It has its own way of check and balance. There's nothing for us to feel in totality. Of course, if there is a person where to get infected in your house, near and dear one where to get it, you have to take necessary steps. I'm not saying, okay, so what, forget it, all of us can go and do whatever we want. That's not what I'm saying. Don't take it as callousness, please. I'm not talking about indifference. I'm talking about understanding, not action. I'm talking about with what outlook you have to see the whole thing. Your outlook is different from your action. Remember that. Your action is different. What you are supposed to do is different. But what understanding you must have is a different thing. Your understanding is this. Understanding is there's nothing to do, because every century this balance keeps coming. Now, some of them were saying we are going to have 5 waves of corona. We are in the second wave only now. There's going to be 5 waves. Now, 5th wave, every wave is going to be mutated one, which will get more stronger, more difficult for us to fight. So by the end of 5th wave, most of us will not be there. Nothing to worry, actually. Will we survive 5 waves, sir? If you can manage 3 waves, you are great. That's about it. Now there's no way that we can get into a position of the domination. Nothing can dominate. If it starts dominating, nature will remove. Remove in the sense it will not remove the whole lot. A chunk of it will be taken out. Whenever Adharma takes over, I come. He says, no. Sambhavami yuge yuge. He says, I don't come. Sambhava, he says. A happening. Something will happen. That's called Sambhava. Sambhavami yuge yuge, in the sense not that I come. That is the way we translate it. But if you take that Sanskrit word, Sambhava, I appear, something will happen. That happening will balance it. The balancing will happen. So when does that? It's nothing to do with the population, please. People think it's to do with the number of human beings are increased. Even now, number of human beings is not more. Remember, that is not the way it is. Then what is it, sir? That is how at the beginning of Dwapara Yuga, this Mother Earth, Bhuma Devi, she goes to Vaikuntha complaining, I am not able to bear the weight of the earth. It has become too heavy for me to carry it. I am not able to bear the weight of what? When does it become so heavy? The heaviness is not because of the number of people. The heaviness is because of the number of adharmic has increased. Adharma has become the norm. Once this non-dharma goes on increasing, that increase needs to be balanced. In that process, few collateral damages will happen. You can't avoid it. You see, damages will happen. That is why people like Bhishma, Drona, and all need to be killed along with Kauravas. All great acharyas, Mahatmas. But they also need to be killed. Why? There's no option. Along with these 100 fellows, we need to kill these guys also. Now, what to do? That is how the design is. In Kali Yuga, it will not be one Drona and one Bhishma. It will be couple of Dronas, couple of Bhishmas will die. And the tragedy is, who will die first is Bhishma, Drona. Duryodhana will die last only. Imagine Duryodhana were to die on the first day of battle itself. Then it is a different equation. You see? No, Duryodhana will die when, sir? Last only he will die. And Dhritarashtra will die even much later than that. You see? The fellow who is the real problem, who caused the real Mahabharata problem is not Duryodhana. The problem is Dhritarashtra. You see? But it's not perceptible. Visibly we will say the villain is Duryodhana will say. Now real villain is not Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra's stupidity is the cause of the whole thing. His blindness, blinding attachment of his to his son is the real cause. But he will not die immediately. Who dies first in Mahabharata war? The first one to go is who, sir? Bhishma goes first. All this, many times we will be wondering, why Corona is not coming to these people. I'm not mentioning names, I know each one of you would have had, some name. Why this person gets Corona and dies? Why SPB has to die? Why that great, this actor Vivek? Why he died? That's what we are saying. A lot of myth we go about. No connection between this and that. He takes vaccination, next day he gets a heart attack and dies. And made such a big scene of the whole thing. This is what we call as superstition. The age of superstition. What is superstition, sir? It means two events getting connected without any logic, without any proof. You see, black cat crosses, business fails. First thing is black cat, second thing is business failure. So the first one and second one gets connected. Why? Just because this happened first. Similarly, just because he took vaccination the previous day, and next day he got heart attack, immediately those two things getting connected and already arrived at a conclusion. This has caused that. No investigation been done. No study is being done. Before even any report could be given by the experts. You say, no. We don't believe those doctors, but we believe these people. And it's unbelievable. And we all think, humanity has grown. You have only shifted from black cat to this. That's about it. You're still in the age of superstition only. Vast majority still lives in superstitious things only. What is Bhakti? We studied, Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? Every Sunday, you got to see, I used to be living in South Bangalore, and we used to have classes in Malleshwaram. Sunday, morning class would be happening in Malleshwaram. We will finish the class and go back. While going back, we will go through that from railway station, city railway station. You go to Dasavudi. Through that, I used to go. On that road, you will find about 250 people every week standing in the queue. For what? For the tithe fellow. The talisman, they tie that. And they think they are all devoted people. And we think that is bhakti. It's superstition. The superstitious beliefs is taken as bhakti for all of us. The same superstition is what this is. What does it say? Just because an event comes next, the successive one becomes the effect of the previous one. The previous one is taken as cause, the second thing is taken as effect. What does it say? Classic case is this. Vivek, that South Indian actor. Some of you may not know who is that Vivek I'm talking about. There is a Tamil actor, comedian called Vivek. He passed away. Heart attack. He just passed away because of heart attack. But only thing is what? He took the vaccination the previous day. Because he had taken that vaccination, immediately it's flooded. You see that YouTube, even now it is there. And unbelievable to see the deterioration of human thinking. That's what our level of thinking is. See, how are we to understand the whole scenarios? In the process of adharma increasing, nature will balance it. When the nature were to balance it, few dharmic people also will get ticked off. That you can't avoid. That is, there is no way that we can avoid it. That's not possible. So what is that to be done now? It's not that we need to reduce the human population. It's not population control, please. That's all, material. That's all economics. Political thinking. Philosophical thinking is very different. Philosophical thinking says it's not that. It's not that number. Fanatic. Religious fanaticism is very wrong. Who says? It depends on which religion you are following. Isn't it? I am a fanatic Jain. What is the problem for the society? Because Jainism says what? Mahavira says non-violence. I am fanatically following non-violence. What is the problem in that? Huh? Can any one of us object for that? It's not just that fanatism. Now, you're fanatic about what? Isn't it? Similarly, you're doing things is not. It's not the number of people. Who are that number? Imagine we are having about, instead of 5 Pandavas and 100 Kauravas, imagine there were to be 100 Pandavas. 50,000 Krishnas were to be there, let's say. Can Mother Earth go and complain that it is too heavy for me to carry? He's not going to say that. But the problem is what? We don't have 100 Krishna, 1 Krishna, 5 Pandavas, but 100 Kauravas. Therefore, the problem is what? Heaviness. The heaviness is because of the decline of dharmic people. When dharma drops, then nature will resist. Elements will start fighting us back. So long as we are following dharma, elements will support us. They will not fight. See, they are going to be in support of us. They will help us out. They are not going to be disturbing us. Sahayajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishadvam yesavosvishta kamaduk. And Prajapati created humanity. He created humanity with this dharma. There he said, use this, live that dharmic life. Thereby, you can achieve whatever you want. And start helping each other. You help the devas, let the devas bless you. You feed the devas, and devas bless you. With their blessings, you live. Where we have faltered is we have stopped following the dharma. The dharma had declined. The decline of dharma in the name of 101 things. Without understanding, and that's exactly what we are studying. What is the spiritual path? Pranayama is very good for your lungs. When you are having corona, please do pranayama. It will help you to get over that. It will give more oxygen to your system. Correct. But any number of pranayama you do, you will not become dharmic. You will not become spiritual. There's no connection. But unfortunately, no application we have in terms of any one of those disciplines, whether it is karma yoga, whether it is bhakti, whether it is jnanam, any one of those things, we have no understanding of all that. Mechanically doing things, or superstition, or a fanatic attachment to a deity, to a god. Why? Because that particular god, why do you get attached to a particular god? Because that particular God answers your prayers. That's all. Imagine 5 times you pray to God, God is not answering your prayer. Then will you do? You will never do it afterwards. Because human mind is such that anything that gives you return, gives you what you want in life, you will start getting attached to that, no matter what it is. Whatever it is. You see? And then there's no such thing as, we are all, intellectual people. This is all, fooling ourselves. Remember. It doesn't work that way. Your attachment to a particular deity. Why do you get attached? To that particular God, to that particular personality. Now you think that to be devotion, that is treated as bhakti. Is that bhakti? Or is it an expression of your expectations? Your expectations are met, you are devoted. Your expectations not met, rejected. You reject that God and you go to another God. You say, no, this God is not powerful enough. Let me go to another God. No. This God also not powerful. Then let me go to another God. And you think it is to do with a technique. Otherwise, there's another group of people. You say, I am a member of this particular temple. I am the temple trustee. So you are a bhakta, is it? And what are you then? What are we doing in the name of bhakti? Do we understand that bhakti needs discipline? Have you ever heard anywhere you go for devotional things, that has anybody tells us that bhakti needs discipline? It needs effort. We were constantly told, we all believe Bhakti is the easiest path, where you don't have to do anything. Nothing you have to do. And that's what we all want. Why? Because anyway, we are not going to do anything. See, essentially, you don't want to do it. And here is a man who comes and says a great philosophy that I'm going to introduce you to a system where you don't have to do anything. Like a lot of people go and crash by investing in stock market. If 1,000 fellows were to start investing in stock market, 995 will collapse. Only 5 fellows make it. Why that 995 go there? Why they collapse? Because they don't understand. Stock market needs a long term. We all believe stock market is a quick bucks. Just make it quick. Easily you can earn money. Very fast you can earn money. It's just the idea. We don't understand. Investing in stock market needs a tremendous discipline. You can't just invest and earn money. Not possible. And we think it is to play tennis is so easy. What is the problem? No, playing this is so easy. It is not. It needs effort. Devotion needs discipline. Do we know that? Are we aware of that? No clue. Why? Because the moment we start this Jnana Yoga and all those things, we started belittling knowledge. Knowledge is useless. Intellectual. Don't waste time on intellectualisms. That is a waste. Karma Yoga is for kids. That is not for mature people. So Jnana Yoga, useless. Karma Yoga, kids. Then what is the only option you have? The only option you have left out is with Bhakti. And Bhakti needs what? Nothing you have to do. And what is true Bhakti? Is your ability to surrender. Now, one of the most courageous act of a human being is to surrender. Only a tremendous courage is needed to surrender. Why is that? Because surrendering to someone means you must have the capacity to suspend your thinking. Right? Do you all understand? 2 generations back, every family, almost you can take it as a rule, that joint family in India, 2 generations back, today, joint family not possible. Why? I'm not saying, it is wrong. It's not happening. Why it is not happening? Right? As soon as marriage, the moment they start discussion of marriage itself, both the boy and the girl side, both of them say what? Book a flat. You be here, I'll be there. Ideally speaking, best thing, what we are doing now? We are in the same apartments, in the same complex. We are in Tower 1, they are in Tower 4. That's all. You need to have that. Why? Are they bad? Do they not love you? They don't want to live with you? They don't like you? They hate you? No. Then what is the reason? In joint family system, it was functioning, it was working. Why? Because there is one person who thinks and decides. Everybody keeps quiet and they follow. If he decides for that wedding, this person should go. For this function, we are not going. Nobody goes. For that wedding, I will go and come. That is enough. Even you are not required. I'll go alone and come back. For another wedding, another thing he says, you go, I am not coming. Nobody would ask him why, what is the logic, what is the reason, nothing. He decides. One person was deciding, people were following. Why they were able to follow? Because they all believed he knows. He knows better than me. He has a better experience. He has a higher understanding. Even family businesses were functioning comfortably. How the family business was going good. Right decision or wrong decision doesn't matter. If he decides, that's it. Today, every one of us have started gaining knowledge and every one of us started having same level of intelligence. Correct? There is no huge gap. The gap is shrunk a lot now. The experienced person plus the person who comes with education. He says, whatever you have with your experience, I got it with my education. So I can also think, I can also decide, I can also understand. The moment you have started developing your belief that you know, your knowledge has started increasing, it is not possible for you to suspend your thinking and surrender. Now, humanity is increasing its intelligence or not. To surrender, you have to keep yourself lower and someone else higher. Only then you can surrender. Most of us don't surrender even to doctors now. A doctor gives a medicine. Nowadays, people don't go to the pharmacy to buy. Earlier, people used to do that. They go to a doctor, doctor will give some prescription which you can't read, nothing you can understand. I don't know, as though it's a universal rule, no doctor's, handwriting we can understand. I don't know how all the pharmacists were able to read it. I really surprised, the B Pharm, I think they teach only that, how to read. There's a special paper they must be having in B Pharm. How to read doctor signature, handwritings. Some, thing they write and give. Nowadays, people don't do that. The moment the doctor recommends that medicine, that tablet or some medicine he recommends, first thing they do is they go and Google it. And in Google, you have no clue who has written that article. No idea you have. Something is written there. And what we do is we take that and go and cross-check with the doctor and ask him, sir, you have said this, but this has that side effect, no? So what about that? Can we have, this will trigger, it says there's a chance of getting diarrhea because of that. So what should I do for that? This is called lack of surrender. When you are not able to surrender to a doctor, when you are not able to surrender to your physical person right in front of you, who is helping you, who has more knowledge of the disease and your body, that's the worst thing to do, Surrender, surrender, man. Doesn't matter to whom you surrender. You inquire before that, but once you surrender, no questions after that. Ability to do that, that capacity to surrender, is it increasing? That increased capacity to surrender is called bhakti. Now we believe bhakti is belief in God. I believe in God, therefore I am a bhakta. Now who told you that? From where you got that understanding? That phonetic attachment. You imagine that idol, that deity to be God and start treating it. Now, that doesn't mean that idol is useless, please. That idol is recommended to be to you, and this is given to us for a purpose that you need to do something. That is the discipline. The prescribed discipline do we follow now? This is one side. Bhakti, what is it? What it is not? This is what we have seen so far. I'm only recapping. Long gap. So just brushing what we have studied so far. What is not bhakti? Then what is bhakti? Bhakti is your ability to surrender. Now, that ability to surrender will express itself as what? If you have that surrendering capacity, that will express itself as the emotional level. It will express as feeling of oneness with the fellow beings. That feeling will come. So the primary quality of bhakti is removal of otherness. Are we feeling the otherness more? Are we getting established more and more in otherness? Or we are diluting the otherness? That will show how much bhakti you have. That ability to feel that oneness. Now, how do you know whether you have that oneness? That oneness where to be there, that identification where to be there, it will express itself automatically as what? In action. Bhakti, expression at the intellectual level, surrender. At the emotional level, at the feeling level, how bhakti expresses as oneness. At the action level, how that will express as service. That spontaneous service will come out. Wherever you have the oneness, you feel that oneness, it will come as service. To whom? To everyone. Whoever comes in contact with you, wherever you go, no matter who that person is. You see, the way you serve, that affection will express as service. No grudges. So bhakti is not attachment. Then what is it? It is your ability to surrender. That ability to keep my independent will and take the will of the totality as my will. My ability to suspend my thinking, my values, my beliefs, my understanding and subscribe to the higher, whatever the higher is, whatever you consider as higher, whoever you consider as higher, your ability to conceive. Suppose if you say, I can't see anybody higher than me, better luck next time. Right? This is the problem of all of us today. The problem of all of us today is nobody thinks the other person to be higher than me. Isn't it? No wife will say, my husband is good. No husband will say, my wife is intelligent than me. Understood? Every wife says what? I am more good than my husband. I am more intelligent, the wife will say. And husband will go on saying what? Exactly opposite. You can never do that. It is not possible. You can never think someone higher than you. That is why we are not able to surrender. That ability to recognize the higher, the divine forces. That's the whole thing. The tragedy is to see that divine law functioning. That's called higher. There is a higher law. There is a totality. That higher divine laws of nature, that law I take as a representative. Like, you cannot tear the book of Constitution. You know that. It's illegal. You'll be prosecuted if you do that. What is just a paper? No. Actually speaking, what is it? That is not actual Constitution. Because I tear the Constitution doesn't mean whole Constitution in India is gone. It's not the case. The constitutional law is standing independent. But the book is a representative of that. Similarly, the idol that I see, whatever it is, the higher that I see, is a representative of the divine law that is governing our life. Let me keep my beliefs, my understanding, and follow the law. Even now, there are a lot of people believe Corona is just a imagination, not real. You know, a lot of people still believe it. These guys wants to make money there, therefore they are scaring all of us. I don't want, but you can have your own belief. You have to wear mask when you come out. You can do whatever you want. If not, you will be penalized. This understanding, when it comes to the divine laws of life, man-made laws we can understand. That's very easy. Not a problem. But the divine law to understand. The divine law is what? Keep your ego intact. You must suffer. That's a law of life. Keep your ego alive. You shall suffer. Erase your ego to enjoy life. This is a divine law. Who gave that law? How that law got into effect? No clue we have. Do you understand that law? Doesn't matter. Whether you believe that law is correct? Doesn't matter. Your ability to keep aside all your understandings, all your experiences, all your beliefs, and say, that's how life is. I subscribe to this idea, but erase the ego to enjoy life. So long as you are keeping your ego alive, intact, you will suffer. You can't escape. You can't escape stress. You can go to any seminar, any programs you can attend. You can do anything in life. So long as you are keeping your ego and egocentric desires, you will suffer. You will be stressed. You will be depressed. This is a law. I'm just giving one example. Because you may be asking, what is a divine law? Divine law, you're saying, is a divine law of life. Keep your ego, you suffer. Erase your ego, you enjoy. Like Ramatirtha says, the way to gain anything is to lose it. What a profound statement. The way to gain anything is to lose it. You lose it, you get it. Now, it will not make any sense. Logically, it will not make sense to you. What is this? Law of attraction works better because law of attraction looks far more logical to all of us. Law of Ramatirtha doesn't work for all of us. Law of Vedanta doesn't work because here it says what? You have to lose. He who findeth his life shall lose it. He who loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Is Christ correct? Or this correct? I don't know. Is Ramatirtha correct or are these people correct? You have to ask. You have to strive. You got to work. You have to desire. You have to desire. Keep desiring. Keep desiring. Is these people correct or this correct? Now, this is where you have to decide which one you are going to subscribe. No matter what you subscribe, doesn't matter. After that, you should not be bringing in your idea. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying which is right and which is wrong. Right? There are two contrasting, conflicting, contradicting things. If you think Siddha Ayurveda is going to help you to get rid of corona, surrender to Ayurvedic doctor. Don't go to allopathic doctor after that. If you go to an allopathic doctor, don't go to an Ayurvedic doctor. And say, I am going to take good from everywhere. It will not work. What is so good about Nano Car? Compact. You don't need parking at all actually. You can buy one parking and park 2 cars there if you have Nano Car. And what is so good about BMW, sir? Engine. What is so good about Honda City? Steering. Effortless. Correct. What is so good in Scorpio? The wheels, fantastic. What do you do, sir? In a compact Nano, you fit in that wheels of this and steering of that and engine of BMW. Can you get a car? You cannot get it. You get a Nano with that engine, with that wheel only. You can't get the other way around. This is not possible. It's a package. Don't get into this false beliefs that all the total good things I'm going to collect together and then I'm going to take it. Not possible. You take something, take it in total. You take to this, take to that. You say that it is the desiring that is going to help me. Surrender. After that, don't come here. The problem for all of us is you keep switching between the two things. This is called, borrowed religion. You borrow religion and live life, not your own, not authentic. Borrowed religion is what with which all of us live. What is this borrowed religion, sir? You run towards the world. When the world starts pinching you, when the world starts troubling you, you start running in the opposite direction towards God. And then God starts pinching you. Why? You start coming here. Utility. You go to God, why? Utility. Because world is not feeding you now. So therefore, you believe what? If world is not giving, opposite of world is God. So let God feed me. Will He serve my demands? You run towards God. And it will appear to be serving initially, but then over a period of time, He also doesn't serve. He also starts giving you pain. Then what you do? Run back towards the world. This is what we do. Every Tuesday, Thursday, attend your class. Rest of the time, for the last 2 weeks, what were you doing? What Vedanta? What is nothing. Chutti. So we are worried about you. That is there. What were you doing? Were we paying attention to this knowledge? You run towards the world. When the world starts giving you trouble, run towards God. When God starts troubling you, run towards the world. Whole life is running up and down. Like rocking chair, You keep rocking. After a point of time, you get giddiness. You get a chakkar and collapse. This is the life of every human. Is this bhakti? It's not that. Your ability to suspend your thinking and subscribe to a higher thinking. And that will express itself as what? It will express itself as the recognition of all that valuable things that you have got, that gratitude you have. You feel more and more grateful to what you already have. And then how can you ask for more? Impossible. Stage 1. Stage 2 is what, sir? Automatically you would start experiencing the oneness with everyone around you. With everyone around you means you feel oneness with fellow human beings first. I've seen a lot of people pay so much of attention to one, cockroach. What is this? Ant crawling. Oh, don't stamp. Effortlessly they abuse a fellow human being and hurt them. You don't even recognize you are hurting a human. That we don't even register. But we are so concerned about plucking a flower. And the fellow says, ask the question also. Isn't it plucking a flower is hurting to that thing, to the bush? Therefore, is it correct to pluck the flower? I say, why you have to pluck the flower? From there itself you offer to God and walk out. No. Why do you have to pluck it? Yeah, correct. You can take that stand. When you can just see the pizza and get satisfied with your stomach. The day you have reached that position, then you can take a stand. I don't have to do all these things. But when you say, no, sir. If I have to enjoy pizza, then I have to put it in my mouth only. Take it from there and put it in my mouth and enjoy it. And that also people say. During Corona, the problem is, what? You don't feel any taste. All taste gone. I was telling Kritika, you should cook now, I said. That's why we are enjoying food from everybody's house. Any house, send me, it doesn't matter. Why? No taste. Everything was tasting same, no smell also. Right? Sometimes you can smell the taste, whether it is good or bad, it's spoiled. Nothing we know. Simply eat everything, That's not what life is. Your ability to recognize the higher form and the lower form. Your inability to identify with the higher form cannot be compensated by identifying with the lower form. You need to grow in your oneness with the higher. The spillover will come to the lower. It is like in Tamil there is a saying, பகல்ல பசுமாடு தெரியலன்னா இருட்டுல எருமாடு எப்படி தெரியும்? When you are not able to see a cow in a broad sunlight, how on earth you can recognize a buffalo in the darkness of night? Impossible. You must have acute perception to see that. You know, it is true statistically. You know that, no? The black cars were the one who meet with accidents maximum in the world. Of all the vehicles, black cars. But black car is a beauty. The best is a black one. The most expensive one, black. But they are the one who meet with maximum. Contrastly, white cars meet with less accidents because of blackness. The road is black, the car is black. You don't recognize it many times. It just slips. Accidents happen. You need perception. To see the pain in the subtle, in that lower forms, needs tremendous alertness. If you claim that you are able to recognize the pain in the lower forms, 10,000 times you must have the capacity to recognize the pain in the higher forms. Do we have that? That is called feeling that oneness. Remember, people, a lot of them ask us, this question. During the summer, mosquitoes will come. People ask, is it okay to kill a mosquito? Or is it wrong to kill a mosquito? I said, don't kill a mosquito. And if you get malaria, dengue and all, don't complain to me. Keep that also with you. As though they think, if I am not killing a mosquito, I catch a mosquito and put it outside. Means you are such a great personality, And they think they are equivalent to Thai Manavar, or they think, they are like Kabir. No way near. Remember, this ability to identify with the fellow human beings is a test. You pass that preliminary test, then they give you the next form, your ability to identify with the animals. Then they go to the next form. Can you identify with the plants? Then comes, can you identify with the objects, inert, a stone? The one who is filled with that identification can see that form and love he can express for a stone, highest one. But it's not easy. Where do you start, sir? That's why he gave the example of Abu Ben Adam, his tribe in Greece. Yes. Write me as one who love his fellow beings. I don't love God, but I love the fellow beings. Fellow men. Yes. I love my fellow men. The ability to identify with fellow human beings. That will express in action as what? Service. So the recognition, surrender is the foundation. That surrender at the intellectual level express as gratitude, at the emotional level as identification, action level as service. Developing that is called Bhakti. Right. We'll see Jnanam next class. Thank you. Hari Om.